Noel has already noticed what he has noticed. What's up, man? What's going on? Welcome to the podcast.
Wait a minute. How come I don't have one of those?
Two guys from two worlds. This is the FlipSide. New episodes uploaded on YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify every week on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Now, your hosts, two guys who believe they're still relevant today, Jay and Noel. Good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the FlipSide. It is April the 1st at 8:09 p.m. here in the US of A, and it is April the 2nd, 8:10 in the morning in the Philippines. And I believe Noel has already noticed what he has noticed. What's up, man? What's going on? Welcome to the podcast.
Wait a minute. How come I don't have one of those?
What's up?
Isn't that supposed to be outside the room that you're at right now so that the people that are trying to come in know that you're live on the air and not inside for yourself?
Well, there's no more curtains in front of me. Remember behind me? It was curtains behind me before. So now
should be outside.
It looks
man,
like it's a studio. It looks like I'm in studio right now. Huh? Who looks like the newscaster now?
Ay, nako. Should be outside for the people that are trying, for your fans waiting in line to try to come and see you. That sign should be outside so they don't bother you to come in.
Right, but then they'd know where I live. You see what I'm saying? I don't want that.
I'm talking about your family that's right there.
They can see me. There's no more curtains. I literally took the curtains out. Well, my wife does not like the curtains to begin with, so I took it out. And flipping my desk or my computer screen is actually her idea. This was her idea. You know, she's like, you should just flip your desk and we can move the TV there so that they're back to back and you can have all your lights set up and then you can take out that ugly curtain. So, voila.
The one that looks like a toilet behind you. Yeah.
Correct.
Or a shower curtain behind you. Yeah.
No, they're actual curtains still. I mean, they're not like shower curtains or anything.
Hold on. I'm going to go with hold on a second. I'm gonna go with your color motif and turn this baby on. How's that?
Boom. Looks good.
How's that? But we gotta talk fast though because this is only like a 15-minute battery.
Well, but it's charging right now, right?
No, it's not. It's not. Oh, did I tell you that this is the new one? The other one I had to return back to the store because it died like after 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah, it just stopped charging. So I went up to the store. I wasn't complaining about it. I wasn't really expecting them to return it because like they only had like a 1 week return policy.
Right.
And then I just walked up to the store back at SM South and I was like, doesn't want to work anymore. And then they're like, oh, we'll change it. As if like they've done it like 100 times that people just come back and return shit to them.
Oh yeah, sure. That looks like an obvious
Yeah.
Well, at least they took it back though.
Yeah, exactly. But they were like, did you try it with other wires? Yeah, didn't work. Did you try to do it like sideways? Yeah. Did you try to do it the other way? Yeah, didn't work.
Sideways? What do you mean?
Nah,
like just flipping it that way?
Oh, yeah, no.
Never
They
mind.
were just
never mind.
basically asking me if I tried everything to make it work. But it seemed like I think before it completely died, the unit itself was still working. It was the charger that didn't seem to it just didn't seem to be charging back on. It was just like on low battery forever until one day it just didn't want to turn on anymore. So this one has 3 bars.
Well, that's good. At least they changed it and you got a new one. Did you hear that strong wind by any chance? No.
No. No.
Sorry, okay.
I was just too distracted by the sound of your microphone that just sounds so good to my ears. Just keep talking while I drink my coffee and my breakfast in front of me.
Yeah,
sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it's breakfast. So
okay. Now there's a weather forecast warning until tomorrow morning where it's strong, severe windstorm or whatever. And right now it's really scary. It's probably like the windows right here, as you can see the blinds right there. The wind gust is so strong, and tree branches. There's a tree right here in front of my front door. and it's just like, on the glass. So it's a little bit like I'm a little worried that maybe it'll like punch through or something.
You guys are living like in an open space, almost kind of area. No, there's not a lot of tall buildings to cover you up, and
No, no, no. Yeah, it's complete suburbs over here.
it's funny with my situation. I live like, well, there are trees also, so I kind of look like I live in the province. But when you
Right.
step outside, there's like a bunch of squatters, and then if you walk outside like 100 feet, there's like tall skyscrapers. It's a bit confusing.
I actually saw that. I was looking on Google Earth, and there's a lot of constructions going on in your area.
Yeah, yeah. Construct. It's like it's a developing country, as you say it. I like to say
So
it's a third world country disguised. No, first world country disguised as a third world country.
no, it's not a third world country to begin with. Like you said, it's a developing country. People are just ignorant. That's what that is.
Okay.
But listen, those buildings next to you guys. So it looks like, so there's a lot of buildings around your area, around your house, particularly, right? It looks like everybody around is developing, and your property looks like the owner just is being stubborn and does not want to move.
That's right. That's
Is,
right.
is that what that is?
That describes my dad.
That's awesome.
It's like, no, we were here first. You
Right,
guys
right.
adjust. No, I'm kidding. I'm
Build-
kidding. No.
Build around. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's funny if you look at our neighborhood, this is how I would describe it. Like if you can't find our house, it's the one with just full of trees. And because my dad was like, oh, because my grandmother, planted that, and then my mom planted this one, and then so it's like everybody has like no trees, but uh, credit to my dad. With all the trees around, of course, the house is a little cooler. We're a little, protected from the sun,
Right.
and the rain, that kind of thing. But my gosh, the leaves are killing me. It's like you have to, clean up every day.
Right.
I can hear my mom already saying, stop complaining. That's what you get for, keeping. Anyway, so you get the benefits of the air being a little cooler, which is fine, but you gotta clean up every day for, the leaves, and then the dust. I think can can you get more dust from because there's more trees, or you get
Correct.
less dust because there's a
Now,
lot of
if
trees?
if there's more trees, there's more dust.
Right. And then to top it off, in the center of the house somewhere is a bunch of which my dad doesn't want to get rid of, these bamboo that are
Yeah.
like about this thick, and they're like, oh, that came from my dad, brought in like Malaysia or whatever, like that. Like my grandfather planted it, so he
But
doesn't want to get
the
rid of it.
the trees looks like they're situated properly though. There's like one in the front and then one for some reason oddly centered in the back. Not centered, but it's like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
That's funny. That's a mango tree that keeps dropping like bombs on
Yeah.
on the roof every night. And then there's also a Kayamito tree, which is funny. Then
But in
it
a way,
blows. Let me just say this: it
Yeah.
blows up, and
Yeah.
then when it's on the ground, like langaw flies just
Yeah.
start, like hovering over it. So it's
Right,
like,
right.
and then we don't eat the Kayamito. It's just the flies that eat it.
Right,
So
right.
it's like just a lot of stuff to clean up.
Well, I mean, it's got to be good though. I was about to say that it provides a lot of shade in your house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure, right?
But it's funny because we're actually in the middle of commercial area where we're a bunch of residential houses about a couple of kilometers away from here, where there's like a freeway,
Right.
practically a highway,
Right.
not quite freeway where people don't really go. Well, it's fast, but anyway, there's like a merging lane there somewhere.
Right.
Right at the tip of the merging lane is another guy with the same situation where it's like a bunch of trees, doesn't want to move, but he's right at the
tip?
at the tip or at the apex of that triangle where
Right.
two lanes sort of merge. I'll bike there one day and
He just
maybe fly.
he just does not want to move as well.
Yeah.
Is that what the story
He's
is?
like with matching what do you call it, yung hierro? The fly sheets
Right.
that are just
Right.
all around the trees, and it's like mm-mm.
Right. Right.
Talk to
I,
the
I
hand.
don't understand that. I mean, I'm sure they would have offered him like a lot of
They
money,
did.
though. You know.
I'm sure they did. It's funny though because he's sticking out like a sore thumb, but he's like, mm-mm, mm-mm, not good enough. Like 20 million, no, make it 40. Like that's what it looks like. But whatever.
Right, right.
None of my business. But that one really sticks out. So it's us and that guy. It's like a little rainforest here and that guy. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but his is
It's
like a little shack though. There's no. I don't think there's a structure or a building, but yeah, he put up like a fence and a bunch of trees that they never cut down.
right.
So
That's cool.
that's that. Let me get back to
Yeah.
my egg.
Anyway, welcome back again. This is the flip
And
side with Jay and Noel. What's going on, people?
my name's Noel, and he really didn't tell me about that live on air thing. You really bit your tongue for the past week that we
Well,
haven't spoken to each other, huh? Where did you
yeah,
get that? When did you get it? Did
it
you
arrived
like?
yesterday. It just arrived yesterday. So my wife's kind of like picking on me about it. So I've been bugging her to hold here and there throughout the day today, testing it out. Because when I look at it, it looks backwards. So I don't know if you're seeing it the right way. So I've been testing it out with her. But you're gonna put that in there, and then a fly is gonna get caught in it and land on your eggs. Crunchy bacon.
That's like a lamp. You should turn everything off and then just leave that one on.
Which one?
All your lights, even including the one on your face.
No, that's gonna be weird.
Turn. No, I'm just kidding. Don't touch anything.
I'm turning
It's
off.
fine. It's fine.
I'm turning off the one in the back behind me. I turned it off.
But if we had a little communication going, I would have printed out or I would have had that sort of customized to, the flip side, and then I would have Jay there and then Noel here, right? What do you
God damn it! See, this is why. This is why. Yeah, we're working on that. We're working that. No, we're working that.
And then if you want to be patriotic, I'd have a Philippine flag here somewhere. There's a lot of real estate back here.
I know. So this is like this our family rules type of thing right there. It's like a little, and it's crooked too. Damn it!
Is that
My
the one
wife's
that
like,
says flush the toilet? If you see the seat up, put it down.
This is some random words that we got at this store, or my wife got.
What about it?
Well, she's like making fun of me for putting it up. I'm like, well, I just didn't want to leave. I wanted something there. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you really worked on your background this week, huh?
Well, no, that picture frame has always been there. You just don't see it because I was facing it. So I didn't want to do all the work and like lower it because it's too high.
So what's that book that you're pretending to read on top of the printer?
No, that's the box for my mic.
Oh, nice.
That's the box. That's my printer right there, and that's paper. And
okay,
it's my guitar. Let's get my bag. All that crap.
Okay.
Move things around. It looks so much cleaner now because all of it I just shoved into a giant box and put it under my desk.
Nice. That's what I should have done with all this stuff. But forget it later.
I was actually testing it out earlier. I figured out how to turn off the background noise completely. Like, look, can you hear that?
No.
You can't hear that, right?
No.
Right. So like now I just told my wife, if you guys want to watch TV in front of me, go ahead, watch TV. Not going to hear it.
Yeah. Oh, you don't get distracted? Doesn't it come inside your headphones?
No, it doesn't. Well, I mean, it does, but as long as my volume is a little bit higher, so you come in stronger, it's better.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, one of the things I actually wanted to talk about, I was watching TV Patrol today. Kaninang umaga, nanonood ako ng TV Patrol habang nagluluto ng almusal.
Magandang gabi, bayan.
Magandang gabi, bayan. Ngayon po, nagluluto si Jason ng itlog na maalat. Ay, no.
So you're the Filipino house that's cooking rice at night and then blasting TV Patrol at the same time. That's like,
well, no, it's like in the morning.
if there's I was just explaining. Oh, we were watching. I'll segue into. Let's get back to your TV Patrol story real quick
Yeah.
in a second. But yesterday we were watching The Blind Side, right? And then
Right.
Christine was sitting beside me and she was asking me questions about football. So, can you imagine explaining football in Tagalog?
To somebody
I
that
was like,
knows nothing about it.
so I was like, I would take a second to try to figure out how to explain it to her in simple terms, right? But
Yeah, that'd be hard.
no, but she would look at me like, wag na lang, mukhang komplikado. It's like, don't mention it anymore because it sounds complicated. And I was like, you know how I said it?
What?
Like, just imagine like your team is on this side and then there's another, you're facing another team, which is like a wall. That wall is trying to prevent you from getting to the other side. That's
But
just how I
that actually
describe it.
dumbs it down. That's pretty good.
And then on the all the way at the other end, like there's like an end zone. There's like a line there that you need to cross. It's like parang bawal magtapon ng basura doon. So
Right.
you're not supposed to, you're not supposed to throw your garbage there, but you're running to the other side. And I was explaining the whole bit. No, but wait, where was I going for that? I was explaining football. What were you trying to talk about?
I don't know. You interrupted me. You
Yeah,
you were
no,
gonna try to
no,
say
no,
something.
no. You were saying that you were watching TV Patrol.
Right. So I was actually watching TV
Yeah.
Patrol, and holy crap, man! You know the last couple of days, like the last episode as well. You were complaining about the heat.
Mm, mm,
Jesus, the entire country is like cooking,
mm.
huh?
Yeah.
Like,
But remember a couple of months ago when we first started this podcast, I was raving about how cool it is. Right?
right, but now it's like they were like this. So this was the March 30th episode, which would have been Thursday.
Yeah,
So
no, what I'm saying is it's just total opposite all of a sudden. It's like before it was, oh, it's so nice and cool. And it's a big deal because it's never really like that. Like the heat and cool difference when we switch to summer from there's no spring here, no, but there's from December or winter winter cool wind or whatever.
right.
It's not like it's like 5 degrees, you know what I mean? But
Right.
now it kind of feels like it's like a 20 degree light switch difference, which is a big deal to us because like that never happens.
Well, and to make things worse, the water issue in the Bulacan area or whatever, it's just
That
it's dry. There's actually quite a number of people that passed away because of the heat, and on top of it, mainly elderly people, because they're not
Yeah.
able to take it. But I was like thinking, so they had this one story where two elder people passed away because of the heat exhaustion. One,
Yeah.
the one lady was walking from the market home in the heat. Okay. On top of that, she had her basket on her head. Like she's walking carrying it on her head and whatnot.
Yeah.
Two, the other lady, she passed away even though she was sitting underneath a tree, but she was just sitting there, supposedly getting shade. And then I guess, but I'm like thinking to myself, okay, one, yes, the heat is really, really bad and it's muggy as hell in the Philippines. But two, considering your age, wouldn't you like think about not wander around the heat in the middle of the afternoon?
Yeah, but that's if you had grandkids to ask to go to the market for you. But yeah. I mean, but yeah, we tend to underestimate how the heat is here because we just take it for what it is, and maybe I guess sometimes the seniors forget their age.
Yeah, I guess. Nahihirapan it. This is gonna sound mean, okay? But it's kind of stupid how it's freaking hot outside, and you're still gonna go for a walk. You know what I mean? Yeah, and the city put out the what's that warning that they do when it's too hot in the Philippines? Code something, I don't know, where they're like warning everybody to like not stay outside for a long period of time.
Yeah, but in fairness to people that forget that it's hot, you know how dehydration creeps up on you, right?
True.
Like you never really know when you're you got to stay ahead of it. Uh,
Right.
give you an example. We're on the motorcycle, and it's hot, and we're thinking, as long as the wheels are turning, we got wind sort of blowing in our bodies,
Mm-hmm.
we're fine. So that's kind of how I felt. And then I started noticing it's like my head is like really hot, but the rest of my body is cool, which is
Right.
strange because you're on a motorcycle, you feel the wind on your body, which is fine. But my head is got that helmet on. There's no air circulation going on
You don't
inside.
have you don't put like a heat I'm sorry, what do you call those pads where you keep it wet and you put it around your neck so that it keeps it cool while you're on a
I could
motorcycle?
I could probably do that. They even sell like neck fans or face fans that you can
Right.
wear around your neck, like a
Right.
headset that's
Y-
got fans blowing. No, I don't got that one.
Yeah, we go all out
But
when we well, there's this one time we went to Disneyland or Disney World and it was scorching hot. I mean, humidity
uh
and whatnot. We were all
uh
decked out. We had the fan that goes here, right? You also have the
uh
necklace with the fan bottle where you can spray water.
yeah. So
And
you're
then
the
you have
Filipino family with the with a basket with you and the rice on another. We got to bring our own rice because you don't want to spend extra money for
right,
rice. Just
right, right.
make it at home.
But yeah, the entire country apparently, I just again saw it on TV Patrol today where averaging 40 was that 44 degrees Fahrenheit Celsius,
Mm,
which is like
yeah,
110, 109 Fahrenheit.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
insane. And with the humidity, and apparently the crosswind is what's hurting people too much because the humidity is like really sticking to your skin.
Mm, mm. Well, can't for me it was fine. Again, it was fine on the motorcycle, but it was really just the head inside the helmet. So we parked in a mall and then
Yeah.
walk into the refrigerator, so to speak, with the air conditioning.
Right,
But
right.
but yeah, I mean, it's like, are you gonna try to get home already because you're tired, or do you just stop at the mall somewhere because
It's too hot.
it's too hot? So
It's better. Like it's
waste.
probably better that you stopped because if you kept going, you could have probably crashed. You could have had like a heat exhaustion in your head.
So the other day, went to visit my son, woke up at 4 a.m., left the house at 5 a.m., got there 5, 6, 7, like a couple of hours later. So it was fine, the usual hour and a half to get there. On the way back, I left my son at 1 p.m., stopped in the mall, had lunch a couple of times, got home, stepped in the house at 7. So that was six
Wow.
hours back on the road, 2 hours to get there, six
Wow.
hours to get back.
Well, was
You
that
know,
just because of the heat and then stopping all the time to like,
yeah, toilet breaks,
yeah,
gas pump, all these excuses just to stop and get on the side of the road to cool
cool
off a little
down?
bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy.
I can't even say that it was because of the traffic because it was moderate. We were
Right.
moving. I mean, it's Philippine traffic that it wasn't a parking lot. We were moving, but the fact that you're just under the sun.
Do you take EDSA?
No, no, no. I take the sort of the back roads.
Ah,
Too many cops and EDSA, too
the bus, too
many.
many buses.
Yeah, no, people drive different in EDSA. It's like this is EDSA, so we gotta you know you gotta take your balls out and put it on the table. Like you gotta show them who's boss. And you know what stresses me out? It's all these buses because we were joking about 21A, 21B the other day.
Right.
I kind of miss that because you kind of know when they're gonna arrive, and if you miss the bus, you catch the next one. There's going to be a next one coming, and if it's full, blah blah blah. It's kind of predictable, right?
Hmm.
And at the same time, the bus driver doesn't care if he has passengers or not. Here, the way things work is they don't make money if they don't have passengers. So they make sure that they fill everything up, and they make sure that they pick everybody up. So that means it's like I'm going to do whatever it is that I need to do to make money for the day. So
So there's no specific bus stops or anything like that?
funny. The president, I think, made like a proposal to kind of do that scheduled bus stop. First, there's no schedule, and then second, there's no designated stops. So they
Right.
practically stop wherever they kind of feel like stopping.
Right.
And then there's always like every every month or 2 or 3 months, there's always like a new EDSA scheme. And that's practically the only reason why I'm watching TV Patrol or local news to find out what the latest, road traffic rules are
Well,
and to
you mean
get
they can
caught
make
up.
up they can enforce a new law just like that in regards to
They are experimenting with everything that they can try to come up with. And I mean, in fairness to them, I think it's getting better a little bit. Now they have designated bus lanes where motorcycles and private vehicles are not allowed to go inside. And if you get into that bus lane, aside from the fact that you get caught, you also can't get out in some of them because they actually put like roadblocks right
right.
on the.
Ah,
But um, while that's happening, the buses, how should I say that? Some of the bus terminals for the bus terminals for the buses are on the left side, but the door on the bus is on the right side. So so now they're making buses, they're refurbishing buses to have
both
doors on the
sides.
other side, yeah, on both
Ah,
sides. And a lot of it is also for the people that are trying to get on the train, which is on the center of EDSA, which is what makes the bus stops on the left side. So bus stops here on EDSA are both left and right side. Left side for the trains, and then right side for the regular.
left side. So that means they're stopping in the middle. I mean,
No,
not
middle.
the middle to the
Yeah,
left
yeah,
side is typically the
driver's side.
fastest lane. Yeah,
Yeah, and on the
that's
driver's side,
crazy.
left side. No, no, there's a big island, and that's where the posts for the trains are. Because most of the trains
Yeah,
here are on top or
yeah.
like above. We're building our first ever subway here in the Philippines. Do you know that?
Underground.
Yeah, they're boring it right now. Well, I don't know how much of a subway it is because a lot of times it's underground, but it's just covered with cement or road. It's
Right.
not like subway where it's
Got it. So
really
it's not
under.
dug in.
Yeah, there's like you could still see the train underneath, but I think the one that they're building now in Quezon Ave, if I'm not mistaken, has it's really underground.
Wow. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty interesting. That's gonna cause a crap load of traffic during construction.
It already is, but I think
Okay.
it's being managed pretty well.
Right. Do they
Not,
still have like last time I was there, if your car, like I guess the number, maybe the license plate, I don't know, ends at a certain
mm,
number,
mm,
you
mm,
can't drive that
mm,
day? Is that what that is?
mm.
Um hold on, I lost my train of thought. My son's calling me. We don't need to cut this. What's up?
Hey Dad, I just got cut again. For work, and I'm gonna what's it called? But I can't go home yet because I have to drop off Rohan. Pick him up.
You got cut early? That sucks, man. So he's gonna take Rohan home. That's fine. That's fine. Hey, gas up the car.
So I'm gonna go gas up.
Is that all right? No, hold on. He's gonna drop off Rohan. Rohan's gonna get off soon. So I'll be home like around 10. Gas up the car and make sure all the windows are closed, okay? All right, thanks. See you later. Drive safe, please.
Is he using your Jeep?
No. He's using a mom's car. So now that he works, he's got to pay for his own gas. And he's been leaving the windows open in the car. And every time
Oh,
I
that's
see it
funny.
before I go to work, I got to close it. And it's getting annoying.
Oh, that's funny. Me, I
Yeah.
keep leaving the keys on the motorcycle.
That's worse. Somebody could steal that thing.
Yeah, that happened to me yesterday when we went to the Talipapa. You know why? Because the motorcycle doesn't have any doors. I got used to like, you got to take the key out so you can lock the door.
Right. So you just like turn it off and then get off.
I just get up and leave.
So I actually have on multiple occasions. So our cars is one of those. You don't need to use the key to turn it on anymore. It's the the press button, right? I keep forgetting sometimes that it's a press button, so I just step out of the car and the door locks automatically while the car's still running. So luckily the key is like attached to my pants, you know what I mean? Because I attached the key. Yeah, I attached my keys to the to my pants, my belt thing, and when I get to work, sometimes I just park, then get out of the car without turning it off, and I forget. I'm like, oh crap. So luckily I have the key with me, otherwise I'm screwed.
Right. So if you leave the key inside and the door locks by itself, what now?
Well, actually, from I've never tested this theory, but apparently if you call somebody who has the spare key and you call them through speakerphone and then they use the spare key in the speakerphone and you hold your phone next to the car, it opens it.
You don't just say, Alexa, open the door.
No. Although that'd be pretty cool. No, but yeah, apparently I've seen too many people make it work. So I don't know. I might test that theory eventually. I was like thinking about it when my son and I find a time together to be off. I'll lock the car, like call and like, see how it works. Because that's pretty cool if it works, Because
they got motorcycles here like that though, that are keyless already.
Yeah, so it's just the press button.
Yeah, and some of them have alarms and stuff.
Right. Like you could be walking around, so your key fobs is also the same key for your alarm, right? If you're far, for example, this is it, and you do this, you hold the key fob over your, I don't know why. But it works. I've done it a million times. If you're out of range already from the car,
okay,
you do this and you press it, it'll work.
What do you mean it'll work?
Like if the car is unlocked, right? With the alarm off, but you're way off and you keep trying to turn it off.
You mean you're far away? You're from antenna range?
Correct. You're out of range already.
So your head turns into an antenna?
That's what I'm saying. You just do that. It works. I'm not kidding. It works. I've done it a million times.
And where did you learn that? TikTok?
No, I saw it on YouTube, and I do it all the time at work. I'm out of range because I can see my car from my office, and I'm like, hold on, forgot to lock it. So I'll just do this and turn it on again, and it locks. And that's how I turn my car on too. I can just turn on my because I have a remote start for my car.
Yeah.
So
you can't walk back the 10 steps to. So does it double the range of your key or what?
It's like your brain turns into like this giant antenna, and I'm like equating it to like when aliens wear those for aliens not to read your brain or your thoughts, you have to wear the foil hats.
Yeah, the tinfoil hat. But does it need to be on your chin? I mean, can it be on your armpit or any other body part? Like,
I don't know. I think it has to be in the chin. It's kind of weird.
Go test it out with your son. Then the both of you would be like, "Does it work here?
Does it work here?"
Yeah,
but it works.
So, side note with EDSA passing there and the bus stops and everything. So there's a lot of traffic schemes going on that I try to keep away from.
Right.
But I mean,
hold on. Sorry. Apologize. But going back to the so the license plate with the last, is it the last 2 digits or the last digit?
Last digit, last 1 digit.
Last 1 digit. I think it's like if it's a certain number, you're only allowed to drive on a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or something like that, right?
One day a week. Some people get 2 cars so that they have another one, a spare. So it doesn't actually lessen the people on the road, because some people, I mean, for those people, they have extra cars. But I have a friend, they did that for the same reason. We'll get an extra car, but the license plate that they got, which you can't really choose, is the same license plate number as the one as their other car. So
So
now they can't
basically,
use both cars on the same day.
what an idiot.
Uh,
That's
the
ho-
the
that's
thing with Ed's
horrible.
the thing with me and EDSA though, so with the car, it's fine. It's manageable, but on the motorcycle, man, I could feel every bump. I didn't realize how uneven the road is. I mean, for a national highway that everybody knows about, EDSA, which used to be called like Highway 54 or something back in the American time, by the way. And then they called it EDSA. You know what it
EDSA
means?
used to be called Highway 54.
Yeah, because it's like 54 kilometers, and then the Americans built it to like to haul their tanks or their artillery from one place to the other or something like that. It's like a historical thing.
I see. I see.
And then EDSA is an acronym for Epifanio de los Santos something Avenue. Anyway, it's just a disgrace on how many. It's not even potholes like potholes, the like moon craters. These
Right.
are like different uneven sections of the road. So when you're in a car, you probably can't feel it, but when on a motorcycle, you could feel every nook and cranny, and it's just really annoying. And it's not even like bump on the road where you just bump like that.
Right.
Uh, it's the same thing with some parts of C5 also, where the crack on the road is not actually like you're approaching it like a letter T. This one is like the crack would be like parallel to my two wheels.
Ah.
So it's dangerous in such a way that we could flip over to the side kind of thing. And I was able to video a guy falling off his motorcycle one time, not on EDSA but on C5. We were on the road and the guy just he didn't know nothing. It's like he just uh like his motorcycle probably just jumped on a crack and he was going really fast and he
Because I mean,
motorcycle flew
it
from
doesn't take a lot to like really get you off balance on those things, though, right?
yeah, motorcycle practically flew from under him.
Wow.
So yeah, he was going pretty fast. Speed, guys, speed is like 60, 70, 80, 90% of accidents, man, causes of accidents. So
Right.
like I was saying before, if I'm wearing those knee pads, if I'm afraid to fall off, I must be going too fast.
And if you're wearing them, and that's a big if.
Yeah. So the other day I wasn't because it was just too freaking hot inside the helmet and I didn't want to add to that.
Mm.
Anything else you want to talk about aside from the roads and the traffic is just getting me depressed now. That's
Well,
why I
no,
spend
it's
so
like,
much time on YouTube and Google Earth because I want to get out of the whole idea.
geez, I just heard that chicken.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of just incidentally. I don't know if it's going on for the rest of Metro Manila, but incidentally, the roads that I get on from here, Las Piñas to San Mateo, um, a lot of the roads that we're passing are, for some reason, they're all getting paved, asphalt,
I
asphalt
mean,
paved.
that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, but for the longest time, they're all cement, just left cement. Now they're
Right.
nice and smooth.
Like
So they're
now it's like
actually,
the black asphalt type of thing.
yeah. So I've been taking, shout out or promoting my other channel here. I don't even remember what it's called, like Noel de la Rosa Rides or something like that, where I show you all the videos that I have on my camera, right? One of these days I'll make a video of the progression of the roads because back in January it was all it wasn't bad, but it was all just cement and had all these cracks, and then now it's getting asphalt, and then yeah, sorry I got on that rant about
No, you're fine. You're fine.
what was that again? The potholes or the uneven road on
The
EDSA.
asphalt, yeah.
Oh yeah, and the asphalt. So now, it's funny though. It's taken them such a long time. So they asphalted it now, and they're all in the middle of painting the roads.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Well, that's cool.
for a week or two, you're just walking on black asphalt, which is strange. But and then now, the paint is starting to get on,
Right.
which is also cool.
Last week at the end of our recording, we you indulged me in ranting a little bit about a certain group of people and about certain subject type of thing. I don't know if you remember. So because of that, I've kind of like been kind of like reminiscing a little bit here and there of like the stuff in the Philippines, like what I missed out on, what I've what do you call it? What I've been what I grew up on.
Is this a subject matter that cannot be named?
No, I mean it's okay. It's just that
certain type of people. What are you talking about?
No, it's fine. It's fine. We were just talking about last week after the episode, after the taping, we're talking about certain Filipino characteristics.
Oh, okay.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
go ahead. Yeah, what
Well,
about it?
I don't want to get into that right now, but it just throughout the week, I've been kind of reminiscent about, my childhood and whatnot, the places that I went to, because you did mention that, what's that, Fiesta Carnival is already gone in Cubao. Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. You're familiar with Fiesta Carnival? No. I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's the gate. I think it's yeah, Peria, or you're talking about like as in Chobibo and like rides and
it's like an indoor
yeah.
carnival. It's like, okay, so this Araneta was right here. Maybe a few blocks down is Rustan's, and then there's this place called Fiesta Carnival. It's like an indoor.
It's like 90% of everything that used to happen there that was open space. Because of course you're talking about open space, and they didn't have any structures.
Right.
Yeah. Now it's building.
You mentioned like National Bookstore being there still, right?
Oh, they're all over the place. Yeah.
Well, no, there used to be one in Cubao. It's near Araneta Coliseum, where they would have the Christmas show in the front.
Okay.
On the front of the building. And every Christmas, that used to be like a go-to spot for our family, and would watch that Christmas show in front of National Bookstore.
Right. And they have the similar idea on, I know what you mean. They have the similar one here in Makati, and I think Greenbelt or Glorieta, where so we're talking about shopping mall, but on in front of that they have these Christmas what do you call that? Those, not ornaments, but moving trains and
correct, like those moving stuff, like
nutcracker try to. And then, it's Santa Claus is going to be riding it. So it's like a little production number.
Correct. It's like a whole production number. Yeah. And every Christmas, that was the place where we would all go. And then every Sunday, we would go see that during the Christmas season and whatnot, You know
what's funny? I think that kind of died down, right? So that would come up, let's say, in December. So Christmas here in the Philippines used to be a 1 month, maybe a 1 day event. And then it turned into a 1 month thing because of that thing that you're talking about now, that little production number that they have. But now that production number kind of died down, and the thing that sort of creeped in was just these lights. We don't have any snow here,
right?
But we got lights, like just street lights.
Correct.
Like the whole city would be, would look like it was snowing of lights.
I saw somebody on YouTube actually walking the streets and saying that, and it starts on the Burr months.
And that's about what I was about to say. It's not a 1 month thing. It starts like September,
correct?
October, November, December. So Christmas here is like 4 months.
Right. And it's a huge thing apparently, where these lights, obviously, the nicer and the richer the area, the nicer the production is. Where I can't remember this one place this guy went to. I think somewhere in Greenbelt, where there's actually a water production that coincides with the lights. Like those fountain, those waters that shoots up from the ground. And it's pretty cool. They don't have a lot of that over here.
Going back to The Blind Side yesterday, so part of that movie was, that we're having Thanksgiving dinner. And I was explaining to Christine here, Thanksgiving in the States is bigger than Christmas.
Correct.
And yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but
hold on, they celebrate Thanksgiving in the Philippines?
No. Thanksgiving in the US is bigger than you guys celebrate Christmas there.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
for the Americans, yeah. I mean, for the white
yeah,
people.
I mean, same idea, same idea. Family, Thanksgiving, get together, that kind of things. But
Right.
here, the opposite. You gotta have a counterpart, right? Here, the opposite is next week, Holy Week. It's Thursday, Holy Friday, and then Saturday, and then Easter Sunday.
Holy
That's what we
shit!
call.
Easter Sunday is next week already.
Yeah, that's what we call Holy Week here in the
Yeah,
Philippines.
yeah. Same thing here.
You guys call it Holy Week also?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's, for me, the way I see it. That's the counter. That's as big as Thanksgiving here.
Well, Easter Sunday here is actually huge too to Americans. You know how? So there's before Thanksgiving dinner was the big thing for the Americans, but it eventually turned into Thanksgiving lunch.
Oh,
So now Easter as well. For some reason, if you're gonna eat out at a restaurant on Easter Sunday, good luck. I mean, you gotta reserve that a year ago, basically.
wait. That's Easter Sunday, somewhere in April, right? When does Thanksgiving happen again? Is that in November?
Yeah,
Right.
it's always the last Thursday of November, which is Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is always the same day as Christmas.
Say that again.
Thanksgiving, the date,
Oh,
the day lands on. It's always the last Thursday of November.
Okay. Here we're too busy doing something else. There's no Thanksgiving here, but there's something else that we're celebrating in November too. Aside from my birthday. But no, going back to
whoa, when's your birthday again?
November 30, which is Bonifacio Day, which is a holiday here, and it's not there. So that was such the weirdest thing. When I used to go to school, when I was going to school there, it's like, I have to go to school. It's not a holiday today, so there's a chance that I'm going to get punched.
So you're actually off every birthday you have in the Philippines.
Yeah, do they still do that there? Well, like when it's your birthday, you get punched?
Yeah, it's stupid. But at least if it's better than if it's your birthday in the Philippines, you got to treat everybody.
All right, I get to stay at home. I get to hide and save up my money.
I never understand
that.
that. I never understand that.
That's
because
the thing, we got like twisted, like
that's what I'm saying. In the Philippines, so we're talking, we're jumping all over the place here, like always. But this is actually pretty interesting because in the Philippines, if it's your birthday, you're obligated to treat your friends to go eat or snack somewhere, right?
Right.
Here, it's completely different. It's like
we'll treat you, but we'll punch you first.
Correct, type of thing.
What do they call that? Like you get punched in the arm because it's your birthday?
I have no idea.
Is there a name for that?
I have no idea.
Right. So next week, everybody in Metro Manila practically is going to leave. And I hear that my son is going to be here. They're not going to the province. So I intend to like try to go there as much as I can. It's like Sunday every day.
Next week?
For the next like 4 days. Yeah. Holy Thursday,
but
Friday,
I thought
Saturday,
you couldn't go.
Sunday.
I thought Sundays are not your day.
We're gonna find out. It's a special occasion. But the whole thing is, so the thing that I was bitching about EDSA and traffic and blah blah blah. So next week, I think it's going to be like free because everybody's going to be leaving for the province.
Right.
That's how big it is. It's like they're leaving already, like right now. It's
spend a whole week in the province.
Yeah, it's
wow.
It's their Calvario, or it's how people, it's like it's a religious thing.
Right.
What do you call that? Like when people are walking to Mecca, walking barefoot to
pilgrimage.
Mecca. It's our pilgrimage there.
Right. So you can't say "are." Do you participate in that?
No, that's when I take advantage of it and get away. But I say
what an asshole.
I say pilgrimage because everybody knows that it's going to be it's going to be packed.
Right.
People can't get on aircon buses anymore. Screw COVID social distancing measures or anything like that. It's back on, folks.
Right.
They're already the bus terminals are already packed to the hill.
You're gonna walk around like this again. Yeah, so how is
And speaking of which, past couple of weeks finally people aren't really obliged to wear masks anymore.
Right.
Felt kind
Just
of guilty.
now?
I kind of felt like I was walking around with just underwear on.
But
Like
they just lifted that just this week?
no. Maybe it's up for maybe a month already, but I only found out a couple of weeks ago because I don't really watch the news. But point is, guards are looking at me like, and some people are still looking at me like, so it's like 80-90% of people are still wearing masks.
Right.
Some are even double masks, double vax, double booster, whatever. So they're looking at me and the other people, which are mostly like other foreigners that are not wearing masks. And they're looking at us like, you guys are so brave. I hope you guys don't get sick.
That's so funny.
With their pointy lips and
They're duck lips.
their duck lips and their eyebrows coming together. Like, aren't you guys afraid of COVID? I'm like, what are you guys looking at? Is my zipper open?
Right.
But yeah, I almost feel guilty for not wearing masks. But yeah,
Going
people are
back
looking
to,
at me like,
going back real quick to like old places that I grew up with. One of the places that we frequented at least once a week was remember that place Shakey's? Do they still have Shakey's in the Philippines?
yeah,
Okay.
going strong.
So Shakey's, what used to be my favorite pizza joint growing up.
Mm,
I still actually like their pizza.
mm.
And it used to be an actual restaurant, right? Or it's still,
It
or
is still.
is it?
Yeah. It's still alive and kicking. I was wondering which Shakey's branch are you talking about? The one in Cubao again?
In Cubao, yeah, in Cubao. So we used to go there on Sundays in the afternoon and have dinner there, early afternoon, because at Shakey's in Cubao, they used to have family movie nights every Sunday at 6 p.m.
Oh.
Yeah. So the whole family would go there, and it's the very first place I had ever tasted root beer. Yeah. And to be honest with you, my favorite soda now growing up is still root beer. And it's because of Shakey's. So every time I have root beer, the image of like the flashback of like, because we used to have the front table is always reserved for my dad and his family, our family, for pizza movie night at Shakey's every Sunday back then.
Can I tell you something that's really frustrating?
What's that?
They don't have any Dr. Pepper here.
I don't care. I don't like Dr. Pepper.
I miss Dr. Pepper.
But they don't have Dr. Pepper in the Philippines? Really?
Maybe I saw one once, but it's not really popular. But wait, so what about Shakey's? You guys would reserve a table? Yeah, it's like a whole family thing, right?
Yeah, because like the one in Cubao used to be owned by my dad's old college friend.
Oh,
so
nice.
Every Sunday on movie night, there's a front table, the Shakey's, the long table that they used to have. I don't know if they still have it for the family.
Yeah.
It's the one that's always in front of the big screen TV that they had back then. So that was always our table. And we'd always have the 2 pizzas and the 2 pitchers of root beer. And I used to love that thing. The root beer was I don't know, it's not sweet, but it's sweet enough, but it's not too sweet. The one in Shakey's.
The same family experience that you're talking about now for that one particular Shakey's branch that you're saying is practically, I think, the same concept that they're doing now in malls in general. So we're talking about like big family tables, but these are surrounded by, it's like a big food court, like bunch of different restaurants. It's, I think they call it alfresco dining.
Okay.
Where it's all sort of outdoors. And then, but the way the malls are designed, it's like a big plaza where the restaurants are sort of surrounding this courtyard in the middle.
Right.
And this courtyard is where all these tables are, and it's like a little, maybe a kids park or something. That's like the new design of most of the new malls now. Like you mentioned, Greenbelt that you've been to.
Yeah.
Same idea.
Well, the Shakey's we went to was in Cubao. It's actually right. It's either on Araneta. It's right next to Araneta Coliseum, I think. I'm not sure.
But on the street, facing the street, though, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
one I'm saying now, the way that it's mostly designed, it's like the one that's on the street is just the wall, the protecting you from getting inside. But the malls now is when you go inside, like all these restaurants are sort of all facing each other, and then there's a courtyard in the middle. So they have that sort of
Oh,
family scene that you're saying now.
right, right,
But it's a whole bunch of restaurants that are sort of surrounding each other, facing the center, so
right,
to
right.
speak. Because the one that you're saying now is like individual restaurants doing their own thing, facing out on the
Correct,
street.
correct.
But now
Before,
they're all sort of, yeah,
like
the new
a
designs.
restaurant on its own, where it's actually
Yeah,
it was as maybe it's because I was small before, as a little kid that
yeah.
it looked big, but I'm sure it wasn't probably wasn't that big. But yeah, I remember that place distinctively. It was my favorite pizza joint to go to, and
Uh,
that root beer was just I don't know what it was, what they do with that. It's like that's why I love Sarsi so much. But I'm still not sure is Sarsi a root beer or not because they don't call it a root beer, they call it a soda. But when you taste it, it tastes just like root beer.
there used to be commercials about putting egg in a sarsi, right?
Eggs?
Yeah, I think so. I'll go and YouTube it or Google it or something. But there used to be.
No, yeah, I think I remembered that a commercial where
Yeah,
some guy cracks an egg in
yeah,
Sarsi,
yeah,
beats
yeah,
beats it, and then puts vanilla ice cream in it.
yeah, yeah. There, see, it's coming out when I Google it. When I put it on the search bar of YouTube, sarsi with egg commercial.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Sarsi with egg
yeah. And then
commercial.
there's this guy that also trying sarsi with egg. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, I remember that. I remember that. But
yeah.
Sarsi is really good, and it's freaking Sarsi is so expensive here. Well, it's because they have to ship it over, but it's like almost $3 for a can. Hello, what is that? Come here. You want to say hi to Noel? You want to say hi? Come here. You don't want to say hi?
How is she?
All right.
What happened
She.
to her tummy the other day?
So it looks like she probably caught a stomach bug, where for 2 days she caught a fever. She threw up.
Oh,
She had some bad case of diarrhea. It got kind of
yeah,
scary.
yeah. I was gonna tell you, nothing to worry. Probably nothing to worry if she doesn't get a fever. But if she got a
Yeah, she
fever,
got a
that means her
fever.
her body was fighting off an infection.
Correct. And then we got kind of worried because Arya's really good with expressing if she's in hurt or anything. Like my tummy hurts, she's really good at doing that. So, but
Yeah.
a little off subject here, real quick. I've never seen a kid who loves going to the doctor so much. I mean, she sat there. She sat there, like waiting for the doctor to examine her, And every
Did you
time we tried to
guys?
come close to her and hold her, she's like, Daddy, no, shh, shh, over there, over there,
Did you
sit over there.
guys? What was her first experience with the doctors before, with the hospitals before? Nothing traumatic.
Nothing. No, I mean, actually, there was a couple where she got shots, her um, baby shots and vaccination, and also to get
Yeah,
allergy tested. She had to
yeah.
take 2 shots, one on each thigh.
And she enjoyed those.
No, she cried. She went crazy, but
Oh,
now she still loves going to the doctors. It's pretty impressive, actually.
I'm talking about my son getting circumcised, and he's like, no.
Oh my God. Is he? Is he done? Did he okay?
No, he doesn't want. And
No
I'm like,
way.
well, it's up to you. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
force it on you.
Jesus Christ. I got
But
a
it just
story about that you're probably not going to want to hear.
no, I don't want to hear. But just a quick story about getting traumatized with the hospital. Though back when my son was getting sick and we were at the hospital,
Right.
and he didn't want to get the shot, I'd have to pretend like to hug him. So I'd hug him. It's okay. It's all right. Don't worry. Okay, now do it now.
Yeah.
Talking to the doctor, and then
Yeah.
they'd shoot him up. But it would just kill me to have to like hold him down just so that he doesn't,
I
pull his
can't.
arm out.
Yeah, no, I can't do that either. It's like it makes me feel so bad that it feels like I'm betraying my kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what
speaking
was
of
I saying?
betrayal, sorry, I get distracted, but just one more story. Speaking of betrayal, man, I had my kid when he was 4 taking take swimming lessons,
Right.
and the instructor would just sort of force him to just like, survive, float on your own. And it's like I finally got sick of it. Like, aren't you supposed to teach him like the strokes and not
Right.
just like doggy paddle?
Right.
It was just so frustrating. It was like 10 lessons. He did it for lesson 6, 7, 8. Now he wouldn't really teach him the stroke. He would just sort of watch him, paddle his way to try to keep his neck up. And I'm like, you're not teaching him. And his philosophy was like he's going to learn if he needs to survive. I'm like, no, that's why we hired you. So on the 8th or 9th lesson out of 10, I pulled him out and I said, forget it, dude.
Did he ever learn to swim?
Yeah, because of me, because I taught him. And I hired an instructor because I wanted to take sort of videos and pictures, and I thought, he would know better. And it turns out that I was the one that, oh no, after me, I also hired another friend who's also an instructor, like a certified, because that's the thing, like with me in scuba diving, for example, I know how to do it. But if I didn't go through like the lessons 1, 2, 3, 4, because there's like a specific curriculum that you need to follow. So I felt
don't understand that. I mean, my dad literally picked me up and tossed me in the deep end,
which is what this instructor did. He wasn't really like teaching strokes.
I mean, I guess that's a difference too, there.
Yeah. So the teaching methodology is different for each person. So you kind of got to know how they plan to do it or what they plan to teach.
Right.
Because me, on the first instructor, I kind of just, okay, go ahead, do your thing. Right. On the second one, that's when we were like, okay, what's the thing going to be like? What are you going to do? Let's do it. So that's where he learned on the second one, where he was really actually taught, to put his hand in front and blah, 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 breathe like this. He learned. But with the first one, it was like, hey, just jump in. Don't die.
But you waited like until the last session before to pull him out?
I wanted to give him the benefit of doubt.
Yeah, it's true.
Whatever. Sorry to get distracted with that. You were saying about whatever.
I can't remember.
It's like these traumatic experiences are just all like bubbling up.
Right. It's scary though. Sometimes, like going back to like watching your kid trying to figure things out on their own, and as much as you want to try to help them, sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the scary part. But the caveat to that is, or the thing that the ironic part about that is, with my little daughter right now, I can't even do that. I can't even worry about it that much because she tries to figure things out on her own all the time. It is nice, but it's scary. It's so scary.
I think that speaks for you as a parent, that at least they know that there's somebody that's going to be there to save them, or somebody that they can sort of run to.
Yeah, which is true. But at the same time, you don't want to give your kids or make them too comfortable in regards to that way,
Yeah.
They could get away they could get carried away with it.
Yeah. So that's my thing. It's like I also try to pull myself back, but I guess just at least let them know that if they do make a mistake, we'll try to figure it out together.
Right.
I think on the flip side of that is you don't want to be like, if they make a mistake, see, I told you, sabi ko na, next time you listen to me.
But I'm exactly that way though. That's me right there.
You're gonna traumatize their thing. You're gonna make them think twice about everything in the future.
Right.
Like I want to do this, but I can hear my dad like getting upset. Which I guess is a good thing, but at the same time, it's like it's how you get upset, man.
It is. I've actually been like, my wife can attest. Well, I don't know if they can attest to it or whatnot. Like I said before, my temper used to be bad. You know what I mean? So I've it's a work in progress where it's calmed down a lot.
Doesn't seem like it.
Why? My temper, it flares up here and there, obviously, but it's not going to change in a snap of a finger. It takes work. You know what I mean? and I think I've drastically changed in comparison to last year.
I would say don't like suppress it though. I would just say sort of delay it. Just don't do it at the moment.
That's the worst. I realize delaying it is the worst. What I tend to do is I try to just catch myself and just shut up.
Yeah, like, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
No,
like the other day, my son dropped iced tea on the table, blah, blah, blah. I could have gotten upset right at the moment.
Right.
I just give him a couple of minutes to clean it up himself or not clean it up, which got me pissed off. But I was like, you know what you got to do with that, right? Go get yourself, blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
And then 5 minutes later, that's when I said, was it 5 minutes later? But what I mean is like, just try not to do it right at the moment when they realize that they screwed up. Because they already screwed up.
But it should be though. It should be brought up right as soon as they screwed up. Because how else are you supposed to, if you delay the I wouldn't say consequences is the right word, but if you delay the inevitable that's already inevitable, it's going to be looked at as if like, okay, it's okay to do it for now because it's going to be fixed later type of thing. No. Am I making sense?
The way I would do it, or the way I suggest you would do it, is like call the attention already right at the moment.
Right.
But with like to leash out and let go of whatever, to give them your 2 cents, that can wait. Like, you know what you did like 5 minutes ago? That really wasn't cool. Like if your son leaves the door open, like you don't have to like say it to him like right at the moment, like he left the door open again.
Yeah, that's true. But see, the thing there is, won't they forget it quicker?
No.
Like if you don't bring it up.
You call the attention, like raise the eyebrow, like
I understand, but if you don't give them the idea behind it already, then they're just gonna forget about it.
No, give them the idea, like 1 or 2 sentences,
right?
But unleash the whole lecture like later.
But that's gonna suck, though. I mean,
because they're also still processing their own emotions at that moment.
Well, that's the thing. If they actually process it, that's the problem that I'm facing with.
That's why I raised the eyebrow.
It's the hard part with that is, okay, so one of the things that, like, for example, I'm not going to mention which child it is, okay, but I'm sure if they're hearing this, they know who it is. This child just does not move with urgency whatsoever. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It doesn't matter, like, if you're yelling, hey, this child, come down, this child, go there. They're still walking like there's no urgency. If I hear somebody yelling for me, I'd end up like running down to like, what's going on? What's up? No, it's like, yeah, you called. No, you know what I mean? And there's no urgency. It's annoying because the lack of urgency reflects to everything that person does. Like they move. They're on their phone. Even their flipping is depressing to look at sometimes. They're flicking the phone.
You're not flipping fast enough. Flip faster.
The lack of urgency reflects on everything. Doing things on your own. Doing things for yourself on your own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's hard. And it's annoying. It's really, really, really annoying.
Yeah. No, but like, anyway, if they do something, let's say the car door's left open, hey, don't forget the car door, whatever. Or you know what I need to remind you right now, right? Like, yeah, give them the raised eyebrow.
Right.
And then when it's like nobody's looking, unleash.
The other person just forgets things. It's like he's not he or she. The other child is just a big procrastinator, and that child knows who they are.
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, for me, my point is just not at the same moment at the
right. No, I understand.
Because like, I don't know if we have time for this. If you feel like hearing it, here it is with me and my stories again. No, because I'm talking about. Did I tell you about that time that I almost drowned?
Where?
Gosh, I keep talking about the story. I feel like I mean, I feel like I've told everybody the story, but I think I've told my therapist. Um, no, there was a time,
You mean your friend?
yeah, that I paid for. Um, yeah, so I was like 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, I think. I don't remember exactly how old I was. So I
Right.
jumped in the pool. I had this backup plan where I knew it was deep, but if I didn't reach it, my backup plan was just to touch the ground and then push up again. I felt like I
Yeah, I've
knew
heard that.
kind of
I
knew
heard
what I
that
was
story.
doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Anyway, so I got saved by the cousin, got out of the pool, and then my mom, even I was still in the water, my mom was already yelling at me about, see, I told you, like that thing, because I was already like drowning, trying to save myself,
Right.
embarrassed by the fact that my cousin had to save me. Like in the middle of it, she was already like, see, I told you. Until
That's my
today,
dad. Yeah, that's my dad.
44, 45 years old, until today, I could still hear her voice when I'm making a mistake in the moment.
But that's what they do, though. Parents, all
Versus,
not just them, all parents do that. Maybe not you.
versus dude, you realize you could have died there, right? I mean, I know she was yelling because she was worried. It was her own emotional baggage that she needed to unleash at me. But I was also like processing it at that moment. And then we can talk about it like, you okay with what happened to you yesterday? Yesterday meaning some time had passed.
Well, but you think
That's just
don't
what
you
I'm.
think that if you tell them like right at that moment that they would possibly get proper guidance on their train of thought about it? Because what
No,
if they're processing it on their
no,
own and
because
the processing is wrong?
no, because they know that they're doing something stupid. They're not like dog. Like, I would totally agree with you if you're talking to a dog. If he's peeing in the house, like while he's peeing, that's when you call his attention.
Right.
But
Yeah,
if it's
I mean,
if
I can see where you're coming from in regards to that. I mean, it's hard for me to. The sad thing about it is, I understand where it's coming from both sides, and I'm kind of just, I don't know.
no, no, no. I mean, dude, like you do your own thing. Like
No, 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 absolutely, absolutely.
but I think what I'm just really trying to say is for me as a kid that needs to get scolded at also sometimes. For
Right.
me, it would sink in deeper if if you came into it with a little bit more like, hey, can I talk to you about what happened yesterday? Blah blah blah. Versus it becomes like
Mm, like a
it
barrage
becomes
of a.
like, can you knock? Like don't just barge into my room. I don't want
Right,
to listen
right,
to you if even if you have something important to say.
right.
Knock and then ask, can I talk to you? It's like a little bit of pasintabe in Tagalog. Are you familiar with that word?
No, what does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know what pasinta. I'll Google translate it if I could in a second here. But basically, you're showing respect to the space of the person, especially if you're maybe talking to a teenager. Just like a little, you're showing that you respect the person's space and time. Like actually, I hear the word with pasintabo when you're
Like
peeing
by
outside in the
allowing them to
trees.
process things first.
No, no, no. When you pee out in the trees, like especially in the province here, there's people go tabi tabi po.
Right.
Have
I
you
used to do that.
right? So same idea. Like you're telling
That
people to
has
move to
no
this.
connection whatsoever.
You're telling the duendes to move to the side, step aside, because I'm about to pee. Because baka maihian mo, I might pee on you accidentally. So it's kind of the same thing with the with your teenager, where it's like tabi tabi po, I'm about to pee on you.
You're supposed to say that first, like you're about to pee on your kid. that
You get the point. You get the point. I'm just
no,
saying, like
ah,
respect the space for him to respect you back.
okay. Well,
But
but that's a horrible analogy and a horrible example.
that's the way I see it. Anyway, that's enough of my rant. I know
Tabi
there's something else that you wanted to talk about.
tabi po. I always say that when I urinate in the woods as courtesy and warning to the dwarves.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So you're respecting his dwarf, his duende, and you know, that's just pasintabi. Wait.
Hey, is there a lot of? I mean, I know there's like a lot of what do you call that? Like folk tales, like sayings and whatnot in the Philippines, right? So here they don't have a lot of that here. I don't know what
Mm,
it is. Like there's like um for example, like when you eat in the dining table in the Philippines, you're not supposed to eat with your elbow up on the table. I don't know why. I still don't understand it, but I find myself telling my kids the exact same way, even though I don't understand it. Sometimes I just tell them like, but it's construed to be rude, or it looks like you're being rude. You know what I mean? I don't
Maybe that's
understand
what
it.
I mean. Maybe that's what I mean. Remember again, The Blind Side that I was watching yesterday. There was a scene there. They were having Thanksgiving dinner. Sandra Bullock's like elbows, Jason elbows.
Right, right,
You know, but there, case in point, like you don't have to say like I already told you before that you're not supposed to put your elbows on the. It's like
right,
sometimes
right.
you just need an eyebrow, like the dad eyebrow, and be like,
I don't have the dad eyebrow. I can't.
or
This is the extent right there.
or the look. Just give him the look. And then later when nobody's looking, I guess the whole idea is also not to embarrass them and make a scene.
Yeah.
And then maybe when you're alone, sort of on your private space, you're respecting his space and his
When you're
privacy.
tabi tabi po.
Yeah, and then that's where you sort of unleash, like open the zipper and just let it all out after you say tabi tabi po. But you don't just run to the bushes and just start peeing
Right,
because
right.
there might be duende. So so there, maybe that's it. Like
Duendes dwarfs.
for them to respect you back, you want to give them a little bit of respect
Right.
and then unleash. That's my thing.
So
But no, as far as legends and urban things are concerned, that's just the one that I know. I don't know about anything else.
there's like there lately on my YouTube, for some reason it keeps popping up everywhere too. Like all these other, like Joe Rogan had a guest, I can't remember who, and they were talking about capre.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're talking about folk tales and whatnot, or I don't know if they're called folk tales or something. But Joe Rogan, I just caught that episode, a small part of it on YouTube, and they were talking about the capre. It's kind of interesting. What?
Chickens.
I can't hear it.
Chickens. While you were talking. Go ahead. Sorry.
Anyway,
What about
so well, it's not just that, like all the other folk tales that I'm seeing all over YouTube as well. And also going back to Joe Rogan real quick, he's been talking about the Philippines a lot too. Like he had a guest that was a pool player. And they were talking about, like, how amazing Efren Batare is. And it's crazy how they show the clip of Efren playing pool in the Philippines. And the pool halls there are like, his table is surrounded by like hundreds of people smoking all over the place. And they were like just saying that he's so good that he learned playing pool from the worst conditions as well. His pool tables are like all dirty, it's dusty, they got powder everywhere. And he learned so well to like maneuver around that kind of like table, that's why he's so good as well.
Yeah, the flip side of that, we were so again the blind side yesterday. I was like, that's the see why the football didn't pick up here in the Philippines, because they got so much shit that they need to wear, helmet,
Well, it's not
pads,
just
knee
that.
pads.
Filipinos
There's
are
just
so
some
small compared to football players.
no, yeah, well that's true also. But what I'm saying is like we like to play games and do stuff that's accessible, easy to manage. Because if you
Right,
got
right,
like a football, you got this thing, like so many things going on. But yeah, you can play football with just a ball.
right.
But no, it goes back to what you were saying, like with the pool table. Um,
With the conditions.
just need a stick and a table, but yeah, it's got a lot to do with the condition. So if it's a sport that you can if it's a sport that you can play with your flip flops or your slippers on, we're in.
Why do you think
Filipinos will
Filipinos were so good at baseball at some point?
because
Because they played in rough conditions, barefoot. You know what I mean? You know what?
yeah.
That just brought up that just totally reminded me of, like, the little leagues, world little leagues, where the Philippines made it all the way to the championships, but they lost their championship because their players were old.
Oh, when was this?
Oh man, what was that? That was held here in the United States.
Are you talking about 90s, early
No,
2000s?
to early 2000s, I think.
Oh, because the players
Philippines.
were old?
Yeah. So
That's
it's
funny.
yeah, it's world so it's
That's
like the
funny.
World Little League series that's held here in the US, okay?
Okay.
So the Philippines was actually part of um the championship series where they were amazing,
Yeah.
you know.
Uh-uh.
Unfortunately, they lost. Like they were unbeatable, basically. But unfortunately, they lost their winnings because they forged some of the ages of these players. Because I think you could only be a player until you're 16.
Shit. Yeah, I think I heard about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of the players were like 18, 20-year olds because they look so young.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah,
It's
that was like
amazing.
2000, right?
Oh man, I don't really
Or late
know.
90s. Yeah.
1992.
Oh, so
Yeah,
I was still there. Yeah.
yeah.
That's funny.
Championship game, Zamboanga City defeated Long Beach 15-4 to become the first Asian team outside of Taiwan to become the champions. However, upon further review, it was discovered that the Filipino team violated age and residency rules, and the Little League stripped them of their title.
You're joking about me and my therapist getting his or her diploma from Capo. That's where those guys probably got their birth certificates then.
Probably, but they were so good. Because I actually saw that on TV, that game. I remember that.
Mm.
Even I don't know why it just popped in my head. We're talking about baseball, but
Brazil, right? Like you see, or in Mexico, you see a lot of people playing soccer like with bare feet and rough streets.
yeah, yeah, in Mexico, that's insane.
Mm.
It's even but there's this guy on TikTok. He's like from Africa. I don't know if, I'm sure I don't know if you've seen it, but
Mm.
he's picking up. He's been trending for a while because his dreams and aspirations is to play in the NBA, right? But he doesn't
Okay.
have like a lot of equipment. He doesn't have the proper basketball shoes. He doesn't have the
Oh,
proper basketball. So he's
so
making
what
makeshift,
conditions? Yeah.
yeah, makeshift materials. Like, for example, for his weight
Mm.
trainings,
Mm.
he's using he can't even afford concrete to make concrete weights.
But he's got a cell phone to put it up on you
No, it's
on
not even
TikTok.
him who put it up. It's the neighbor. The
Oh,
neighbors are the
sweet.
ones putting it up. Yeah. So instead, he'll tie giant jugs of waters on like the end of metal thing and like, curling. He'll
Mm.
attach himself by a used parachute that he just put together as a bungee thing for whatever. He's
Mm.
like it's quite
Resistance
amazing.
training.
Yeah, it's resistance training and whatnot. I'm trying to find that and
Yeah,
whatnot.
there's something about adversity and being able to, yeah, you know, yeah, going back to the dirty pool tables that you were saying, and then probably, broken sticks and crooked pool table.
Right.
Yeah.
Is
And
it? I think they kind of like put me into shut me down a bit there.
what do you mean? That you realize how much you complain?
No, I've kind of I just noticed that I'm kind of putting some Filipinos, like a lot of the Filipino stories that's coming up with, it's always like a negative aspect. I just noticed
It's
that.
it's funny.
Yeah, it
But
is.
wait, what do you mean? What's the last negative thing that we were talking about Filipinos?
No, like those little league players, cheating.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I guess I'm always trying to find like a flip side to things in regards to Filipinos being there and here, and I'm always
I
I'm
I
feeling like
think
a jackass all of a sudden.
no, I think I know where you're coming from because at the same time, it's like part of it is like we're laughing at it, but part of it is
And I
also
think that's what's making it tough.
you gotta
Why I
give credit
realized that.
you got to give credit to the Filipino spirit sometimes. I mean, yeah, it's being stupid, but at the same time, you got to give it to the like the creativity and the ingenuity of is that the right word?
Trying to figure things out to get away with things.
Yeah, it's like you get so like kung magpapalusot. I mean, if you can find a way, when the other way to think about it, if there's a will, there's a way, and we Filipinos have a lot of will, you
Yeah,
know,
no shit. I'm always trying to figure out a way to do things, you know? And again, it
and
just comes to mind. Again, the first thing that comes to mind after saying something like that is that Filipino nurse in Texas that got arrested for selling the nurse exam test.
oh,
Yeah,
okay,
I mean, she's a nurse. She makes nurses here make a lot of money. Okay.
uh,
So there's this Filipino nurse in Texas who, to begin with, she already makes like $190,000 a year as a nurse.
she's selling it to fellow Filipinos or
Yeah. So
Americans
anybody, the tests,
that's willing to buy tests
like,
there,
yes.
not test sending it here.
No, 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 no. To selling it, like nurses would come here,
Okay,
Filipinos or anything else. Doesn't necessarily be Filipinos, but he's selling it. She's selling it to them
as a review, as an advanced review,
as an
or
advanced
like,
review with the answers already because she
oh,
knows it.
nice, nice.
How is that nice? She's already making
Yeah,
$190,000 and then she's like selling these things. So
yeah.
because of that, they revoked her license. Okay.
Oh,
They fined her and then she's spending a little bit of time in jail. Was that worth it?
of course not. But
Yeah.
it's not an excuse. But I sometimes I can understand how it's going. Where like here, let's say you'd have a traffic violation. PWD parking lots, to parking spots to begin with. Do they call it the same way there? PWD,
What is
people
that?
with disability,
They just call it disabled parking space. Yeah.
disabled parking space here.
Yeah.
And people just park. Oh, kasi because so I'm looking at them like, are you senior? Are you a senior citizen that you're supposed to that
Well,
you're allowed to park there? Are you
don't they have
disabled?
don't they have
They
a
don't.
disabled?
Not always.
Wow.
Because I'm just going to be here for 5 minutes, 2 minutes. I'm just going to drop something off. And then the security guards also can't say anything because the car that's parking there is like a freaking BMW
Yeah,
or
because it's a rich person's thing.
or a Ford Everest or something like that. And like, oh, kasi, there's always some kind of not excuse, but like, oh, because the other person's going to understand, and I'm just going to be here for 5 minutes, and I really need to feed my family, and I'm just.
So here, if you don't have this disabled mark, like a
Yeah, you're gonna get a ticket. Here, it's like,
no, not even the ticket. Your car could be towed. It depends on where you go. If it's a store, for example, the
oh,
security guard can have your car towed just like that. A cashier could have your car towed just like that if you don't have a
as we speak, there are like protests of jeepney drivers, like getting angry at the idea of the regular the jeepneys that we have here.
yeah.
The they're fuming like black smoke. They're all old already, and they're being asked. They're the government wants to phase them out and to either change them to like electric jeeps or just
That's
some
never gonna
modern.
happen in the Philippines. It's too
And of
hard.
and of course these jeepney drivers are, but kasi that, who's going to feed our family? How are we going to, it's anti-poor, anti like this, and
Which is true though.
yeah,
That's the thing in the Philippines. That's the thing. I mean, well, those black smokes and whatnot. It's just those jeepney drivers not taking care of their cars or their jeeps. All they
jeep
have to do is get an oil
jeeps, yeah.
change.
Yeah, but we don't have money to pay for the oil change, and we can't
Right.
really. But I'm not saying either here nor there. There's got to be another way to solve the problem. Chicken, I can hear it.
I heard
But
that.
the whole point is that there's always a reason for us not to follow the rules, or there's always a reason for us not to get it done the way it's supposed to be done.
Right.
Um, I don't know. That's
Well,
just
that's the difference, though. I mean, the flip side to something like that in the Philippines is because the rich people get away with it as well, and a lot of these people that come up with the rules are the rich people.
But The thing is it a Filipino thing or is like everybody else around the world like that?
It depends. But it's a big problem. It's a huge problem in the Philippines. One thing I've noticed from watching all these Filipino TV patrol, right, and also the live Senate or House hearing broadcast that they have. I've been watching it.
Yeah.
A good example is so during Duterte's time, obviously there was a lot of killing because of the drug the drug
Mm,
battles and whatnot. And obviously the world court orders or the
mm,
world courts have been
mm,
keeping an eye on it to see if it's being justified or not,
yeah.
right? The reason why they keep an eye on it is to see if the Philippines or the country that's having that kind of problems are actually dealing with the problem. Now, if they're
Mm,
addressing it, the world courts don't need to intervene. That's actually by law, but they still have to watch it. Now,
mm,
this was actually in the case hearings at the Senate floor of the Philippines Congress. I think it was like a couple of days ago, where some senators or governors or whatever or Congress stated are actually complaining. Why does the world courts have to be here to watch this, to
mm.
make sure that we're dealing with this? Bakit sila
Yeah.
nakikialam?
Like leave us
Type of thing.
alone.
Right.
We're doing our thing. Yeah.
We're doing our thing.
Mm,
That's the thing there. Even though I understand where they're coming from,
mm,
if you don't have rules or order, there's going to be pandemonium and chaos.
mm,
Then you're just allowing every other country out there to do what they want to do. And what if
mm,
they want to do is ruin another country?
mm.
You see what I'm saying?
So
I
where did it
mean,
end? Where's it at?
not nowhere. It's just these people
Mm,
who are complaining or these countries that are complaining just need to face reality that, hey, you know what? You need order to have order, obviously.
mm,
Otherwise, it's just complete chaos. And even though some laws or rules are stupid, yes, rules are made to be broken, but rules are there for a reason. Of course, within reason.
yeah.
Yeah. Ewan ko lang.
Oh, we
That's
sound
just
like
my 2 cents on that.
yeah, no, I'm with you, but at the same time, we sound like does that make us sound Republican or conservative?
See, I don't know. Do you consider yourself a Republican?
Ugh. Uh,
I don't even know. Because I can see both sides working though.
I
If they'd work it properly. That's the thing.
think I'm more like center left, maybe left
Maybe.
off center. I think so. Yeah.
I
But
don't know.
yeah, I mean it's as like I complain about it and I can empathize with oh but my family is not, there's always something to say. I can understand it. I'm really annoyed at it, but at the same time I can understand it because the same thing you were complaining about the way I drive, right? Like practically like a maniac or a lunatic being on the motorcycle. But yeah, but I know, but if I don't do that, then I'm not going to get to where I can hear myself saying that when I was driving the other day, reflecting on the fact that you were saying that I was driving unsafe, and I was thinking, a few years ago, if I was where I never thought I'd be riding a motorcycle, I would never be driving like this. Oh, if ever I get the chance to drive on a motorcycle, I'm gonna drive as safe as you know, I'm gonna be as clean
Well,
as a whistle.
I'm sure when you started driving a motorcycle that you were actually safe to begin with. At some point, when you started driving, you what did you actually do the whole helmet all the time, your
Yeah, yeah,
pads and
yeah,
whatnot, the
yeah, yeah,
proper
yeah.
see,
It becomes unsafe when I'm squeezing through traffic and when I get impatient. But you know what? On the
which
flip
happens all
side
the
of
time
that,
probably.
Jay, let's say I'm in the middle. I'm on a lane, right?
Right,
I'm in
right.
the middle of the lane, not in the middle of the line, like lane splitting. I'm like in the middle of a lane. Sometimes cars would like put their nose right beside me just to sort of push me to the side. So I'm like,
That's
dude,
scary, dude.
yeah, the cars are bullies here sometimes. Knowing that you're a motorcycle, knowing that
Right,
because they know that you can lane split, they know that you can move to the side, and I'm like,
correct.
no, I'm not going anywhere.
So did you move?
Um, y- In the beginning, yes, but now it's like I actually raise my hand and actually slow down to like
Ah,
piss them off even more, and then
to let them
turn
know
on
the
their they turn on their high beams and try to make it brighter, and
right,
I stop and I like, are you trying to call my attention? And the more we're not gonna move forward.
right. What if they
It's
actually get down, get off the car though?
yeah, people have done that,
Yeah.
and that point is, it's like yeah, you try to choose your battles, but at the same time, it's like I call racism against other Filipinos that are racist against me. So it's like, you know,
Filipino racist about towards Filipinos.
yeah, but that's the thing. There's a culture like car culture versus like motorcycle cultures. He's like the cars don't respect motorcycles, and motorcycles also don't respect cars sometimes
What? No,
because
not sometimes, all the time. Because the problem with motorcycle drivers is sometimes they feel so entitled.
yeah, so goes both ways. But I don't know, something to complain about. I don't have any solution to that, but it's just ugh.
To me, though, that kind of stuff is too simple. Why not just, you know, move your motorcycle,
What
avoid
do you
it.
mean?
Because if no matter what, if you're in a motorcycle and you crash, you more likely is you're done.
Oh yeah, there, you have no fight.
Yeah,
You have no fight.
you're gonna lose no matter what.
But the thing that was happening just the other night, there was this truck that was trying to, you know, go side by side with me. I was already on the lane. Like if I let him go, if I let him ahead, there's another car right in front of me.
Right.
It's not like he's going to speed up. So he just wants to get in front of me so that I'm looking at his ass. It's like so what did I do? I stuck to the other car that's in front of us both so that he couldn't squeeze in. It was just like
So
we just
what?
got bullies on the road.
Sorry about that. So what does that entail though? Like something like that. In the Philippines though. Well, see, that's the thing though. In the Philippines, the flip side of that is there, if you're in a motorcycle, like you said, you can actually weave through everywhere.
Yeah.
Here you can't do that.
Yeah.
If you're on a
I
motorcycle,
don't think
just
it's the same.
because
I
you're
don't
in
think
a
it's the same for all states though. Some states allow you to lane split and some don't.
no, I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah, as far
Oh,
as I know,
okay.
because I've never seen it. I mean, there
Okay,
are
okay.
people that will do it no matter what. That's because it's
Okay.
just some people are.
Okay.
But I don't understand how it's too dangerous. Especially a lot of
Yeah.
motorcycles, you're going too fast in traffic. And then if the
Yeah.
car obviously in front of you, that's the difference too. When a car steps on a brake, they tend to stop faster as opposed to a motorcycle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One serving D31. Your chicken is ready. Number 34. 34, it's your turn.
Well, what do you know? We're running out of time. We gotta go. Does that ever happen to you? You're ordering, taking so long, and then you gotta go, and then we're like, that's it. We're not. That happened to us one time.
What do you mean? You're just gonna leave with without your order even after paying for it?
No, we didn't pay for it yet. We ordered. They said it was going to take about 10, 15 minutes. Half an hour later, we were still waiting for the order. We had to go already for a meeting. This was for one of the shoots in Bataan.
Ah,
So we were like, okay, we gotta go. So we just left. The order was coming out. They were putting it in paper bags, so we really didn't have time for it anymore. And kind of pissed. So we
so
just
did you
walked
eat
out.
it? Did you take the food or no?
No, left the food, didn't pay, but the food was coming out already.
Oh, that sucks.
It wasn't my call. It was my client's decision to stand up because we were literally meeting up with the mayor.
Oh, wow.
We ended up going to the meeting without no, actually no, I exaggerate, not the mayor, like a city engineer office or something like that.
Made yourself look so popular and in demand.
No, we didn't say what we were leaving for, but it was literally, waiting for takeout, and it was just too long.
Bye.
But yeah, we didn't pay for it yet. Yeah.
Sorry. my, my, my daughter comes down, stands in front of me right here, and just picking her nose. And then just runs back up. I don't get it. These kids nowadays, man.
My
That's the magic, man. That's that random magic there
Right,
where
right.
you
my
can have the
son,
worst day and all of a sudden they just do something as simple as picking their nose.
She just
yeah,
ran
or
down, stood in front of me right there in the dark, and just picking her nose, and I just ran back up to her mouth.
my son still thinks it's funny if he wipes his snot on my shirt or my
That's
arm.
just gross. I mean, come on. My 2-year-old doesn't even do that.
You
My
know,
kid, my kid's 9, and he still thinks it's funny.
Oh my
call,
God.
call me 9 years old. I think that's pretty funny too. There was that movie, The Golden Child. You ever see that?
Uh,
They are saw down.
Yeah, it was just a little bit where the guy wipes a booger on himself, and Eddie
Ooh,
Murphy.
I heard that. That
we
was
got
loud.
one.
That was so loud.
Yeah.
That must have been a
What was that?
huge one.
So satisfying.
What was that?
So there's
Uh,
this. If you look at Noel's screen over to his left, that's like an electric fly swatter.
Oh, you have like a mosquito or something?
Yeah, it's to match up with Jason's live on air lamp there behind him. See?
No, but
Nice.
Noel's thing once in a while while we're recording, we'll just notice a fly just get caught just like that one.
If I was any more technically, savvy, I would every time this guy catches a mosquito or a fly,
Yeah.
I would have like dancing lights. Like, yeah, we got another one.
We got another one. And then you go a round of applause.
Throw a rave party. It's like a celebration every time we catch one.
But that was really loud.
Yeah.
That's only the second time I heard it, but that was really, really loud.
So proud of it too. Yeah, we got one.
I wonder like how big that was because that was so loud.
Don't know.
You don't see the remnants on the floor.
No. It disintegrates, but sometimes it gets caught up in between the net that it takes like 3, 4, 5 seconds for it to pop several times.
What is that?
Where?
There's a chair behind you that just moved.
Oh, Tin just stood up and left.
Oh.
Said we were taking too long.
What is your
that's
son's
it.
name?
I'm getting up and leaving. What's that?
Your son's name is Ian?
Oh no, Christine. Tin
Christine.
just stood up and left. Yeah, she was sitting beside me. My son is not with me right now. He's 42 kilometers, an hour and a half away from me.
Okay.
Christine is his wife or girlfriend.
So there. Yeah,
anyway.
She's the one that's making the thumbnails.
Yeah.
We're all caught up with the thumbnails, I think, last I heard from her. Hey, Ants, before we leave, you shared us a UFC Jim San Bruno video that you got here.
Right.
Yeah, one of my...
It's so cool to see you still teaching, like, still that enthusiasm, like, like you never get bored of teaching, huh?
Oh, no. No, that's... Well, like everyone's got a passion, and that's something I could probably do till the day I die.
That's nice.
Of course, I did say probably.
Yeah. No, it's nice. So you see that. Me, I still feel the same enthusiasm when I'm making movies and videos. That's the thing that I find funny sometimes. It's like I'm already 45. Why am I still doing this? But
be lucky that you have that, though. I mean, like I said, that's something that I don't have. I've never had something that I really love doing or enjoy doing that you're still doing up to now. I don't have that, so you should be lucky. YouTube should be lucky, both of you.
Actually, I feel unlucky because it's not making money. That's what's so frustrating out of it. It's like, shouldn't I be matured and being into like finance or the stock market or something grown up like that?
No, dude. I'm the one that's stuck at a desk. Like I told you, we're not even gonna go do that thing. But I'm the one that's doing that kind of thing. And man, I think now in the later stage of my life, and I know this is gonna sound really corny and cheesy, but everything that I'm doing for this so-called podcast that we're doing, I'm actually enjoying to the fullest, down to the the editing, the trying to figure out this and the how to do this, how to do that. My mic, fixing my mic situation, fixing my lighting.
That's your
It's
escape.
yeah, it's kind of enjoyable for me. I'm actually all into this, and you don't understand, man. I like the last 3 days I've spent reorganizing this entire room, trying to figure out what would look good aesthetically or in the video.
I got something for you. Listen, do you have one of those toy versions of your truck?
No, I've been trying to find one.
Yeah, put it behind you instead of that box of that microphone box that you have behind. Put the truck back there.
Well, so here's the thing. I actually found a company on Amazon where you could customize a neon light. So I'm thinking about getting it shaped like a gladiator because it only costs $30. And I'm gonna put it right. I was gonna put it right in that spot right there, right where I'm pointing. That's where it's gonna go.
Right. And then while you're at it, change the live on air lamp to, the flip side, or you still have space underneath actually.
Now, see, you just gave me that. See, now my initial thought was to do the gladiator customization neon light. Well, when you mentioned earlier that I should get the logo, I think I'm gonna do that. So that's what I've been thinking about because it costs the same price, and I can't do both at the same time. I got to do a couple of extra shifts at Instacart to be able to do both. But
you see how invested we are in this podcast, Ants?
Hey, man, if it's your thing, it's got to be done.
Right.
I don't even have a room. I'm sitting on my garage floor, looking at your guys' podcast rooms. You have your boom mic, you have your lighting all set, you have your backdrop. I am sitting on the ground, surrounded by toys. I wouldn't mind having a little studio room.
You have a laptop, right, Ants?
It needs to be replaced.
I got an extra mic that's just sitting here. I can send that to you.
No excuses. You have no excuse.
If you want this mic, I'll send it to you. It's not a big deal.
Maybe.
It's just gonna take some time to do it, though. You know what I mean?
No, it's okay.
This I mean it's been like I kind of that's true. I've been using this as an escape for me, and I kind of love it, honestly. I like the little details in regards to it. Like I said, even just doing figuring out the lightings to make it look a little bit better and whatnot. That's why Noel always makes fun of me, like I'm putting too much effort into it, and he's like being lackadaisy about it.
Yeah, total opposite. I walk in here with my pajamas on. I got a microphone that's tied up with a string. Literally.
Well, no, that's your trademark now. That's your trademark.
Turns out to be my trademark. But kidding aside, though, guys, it's so easy to get caught up with the gear. That's kind of what I was trying to get to actually, because like, for example, podcast, it's really supposed to be about maybe the stuff that we talk about, the topics and the whole conversation. But it'd be so funny if there's no topic, no conversation, which is quite literally where we're at. But we're so
just
caught
talk
up
about whatever comes up.
But we're so caught up with the gear.
Yes. Well, some people are just like that, and I'm like that, so it's okay. I mean, plus I'm not like caught up for the gear for no apparent reason because I need it.
Just to segue to scuba diving real quick, though, it's you got these people with like the really expensive watch, really expensive wetsuit, mask, and everything, but they're flopping around like, and hitting the reef. But like on the boat, if you take pictures on the boat, it looks really cool because you got all this gear. But in the water, they're all like flopping around.
Right.
Is that your dog or somebody walk in?
Me?
Ants?
Nope, not me.
Oh.
I thought you were talking to your dog there.
No,
me was like I keep seeing a shadow on the right side of my eye over there, because somebody's walking around in the kitchen. I was just double checking. It was actually my daughter, older daughter.
Oh, that's the nice thing about your position now. You can see what's going on for the rest of the house.
Yeah, I can see everything. Unlike, I'm not gonna be surprised anymore. People popping up behind me all of a sudden,
Yeah. I kind of Anthony's situation though, where he's all like in a cave, man cave,
Right. Well, I think
surrounded
that's
by
it for
his
today,
stuff.
guys.
Yeah.
We're all set. Thank you for joining us again, Anthony. I really appreciate it. It's always fun
Oh,
chit chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you again for having me. I'm trying to always contribute a little bit more to the chismes that you guys have every weekend. Trying to get Noel to laugh more and surprise him with my random Filipino tidbits.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to add?
It's just so surreal. A lot of times I catch myself, it's just gonna sound dramatic, but yeah, I catch myself like, what? I'm talking to people that I used to be high school classmates with 30 years ago, and here we are. It's crazy.
No, we live in a world where everything is a click away.
It's a good time to
Oh,
be
that
alive.
sounded good. Huh?
It's a good time to be alive.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
is.
Everything's at our fingertips, man.
Yeah.
You want food? Noel drops it off.
And then charges himself. and pay and then pays himself for it,
Good stuff.
Well, guys, we will catch up again with Anthony next Saturday for the next episode. Hopefully he'll drop in earlier.
Yes.
But we will be back on a regular schedule on Wednesday for a recording, but that will be Thursday morning in the Philippines.
And the episodes, the videos will be coming out on time this time because Jason's the one editing it.
Yes, I am actually behind still.
Oh,
I'm still about 2 episodes behind because trying to figure. Well, I didn't have access to my computer for that day and a half because I had to move stuff around. I got to turn everything, but I'm getting there. But by the next one, it will be up, and I need to get that picture for the thumbnail for episode 17 for Christine.
But that's the thing, right? It gets to you when you're like, you're getting the momentum already, and then you stumble down and you slow down again. It's like two steps forward and then 1 step back, 2 steps forward again, and you're 1 step back.
I guess like I said earlier, it depends on how you look at it. For me, I'm excited about it. Even though I'm running behind and whatnot, it still pushes because I still want to do it, and it's getting there for me. So it's like my little scapegoat type of thing. It's my little therapy. I think, like you said, I think you asked me a question, Noel, that if you end up for some reason not wanting to do it anymore, am I still going to continue doing it? Probably, even if it's by myself. I try to figure it out, basically. Yeah. It's a passion that's actually building up to me, and I'm kind of glad. Everybody has to have their own thing, getaway type of thing, and this is mine.
And like I said, I was quite surprised that you ever got into theater when back in the days, So
yeah,
you got it in you somewhere.
Somewhere over the rainbow. Yeah. All right. Okay. We gotta go. Yes, well, thank you again, everybody, for coming in. Noel, Anthony. We'll see you again soon. Again, another one in the till, another episode down the drain. This is the Flip Side with Jay and Noel. My name is Jay.
My name is Noel.
See you guys later.
Our friend Anthony with us. All right, man.
Have a good night.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Catch us on the next episode on the Flip Side with Jay and Noel. New episodes uploaded on Wednesdays and Saturdays.